So I really want to know the journey of how this film made it theatrical.
When I was directing this film, I was making it for the big screen. I want to create an ecosystem which breaks this clutter of this thought that high concept independent films cannot make it to theaters.
Why didn't you cast yourself?
I didn't want to force myself into the film just because it's my film. Lakadbaga, I can be the, ordinary
Correct.
superhero action boy. But if I make Krish, I'll be foolish to cast myself.
That's
had
true.
a very glorious list of co-actors. Irfan, Nawaz, Pankaj, Shefali, the entire cast of Mirzapur. One name I'm still missing, which is Manoj Bajpayee.
I believe, call me idealistic or whatever the hell, I believe in a better world. I have devoted my life and career to chipping away at the block.
Lord Curzon Ki Haveli releases in cinemas on the 10th of October. This is going to be a fun chat because I might actually know each of you individually, personally, might have spent time with you. So honestly, this interview is just a congratulations, guys. Like this whole interview is to say, yay! Like this is coming to the theaters. How excited are you? I'm going to start with director साहब. डायरेक्टर साहब, पहली बात तो बहुत खुश हूँ मैं तुम्हारे लिए क्योंकि सेंट जेवियर्स कॉलेज में एक लड़का हुआ करता था जो थिएटर वगैरह करता था. This is your first feature film in the theater. So let's start with that. What are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm just very grateful कि film theater में आ रही है and the fact that I have such a wonderful cast in it and I have made it the way I wanted it and people are accepting enough to bring it to the big screen in India is something that I am truly very grateful for. I am feeling stressed right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Not
can
because
see
of
it.
release,
I can
because
see that not one smile is coming.
because it's just chaos. Release week
Yeah.
is chaos, and I've produced films before, but this time it's a little more.
Yeah.
A little more is at stake. So yeah.
So I know you have a fab cast, but here's my big question.
Yes.
Which is why didn't you cast yourself?
I didn't fit the
Okay.
script. Actually, Vikas originally started writing with Rohit for me. And then as we wrote, I realized it needs someone, not me. Like I like to audition for most of my film. I love auditioning in general in life. And I have an instinct on scripts when I read them. So मुझे लगा कि not because I can't do it, but there'll be somebody else who will be better fitting the part.
Yeah.
And then by the time we reached the second draft, I was seeing this man. I had seen this film called Bridge Mohan Amar Rahe
Yes.
in New York at the festival, at Asim's festival. And somehow he stayed in my head. And it so happened I came back and we were on the writing table and I was like, Arjun. And I just started seeing him. And then Rasika was someone in my mind from the first draft onwards for Era. Like I really believe there is nobody in India who can play this the way she's done it. She's one of my favorite actors and yeah, I didn't want to force myself into the film just because it's my film. Every film has a, it's like Lakadbaga, I can be the, ordinary
Correct.
superhero action boy. But if I make Krish, I'll be foolish to cast myself. Because I can't be Krish. Because it's not the prototype. So, horses for courses and whoever's best for the script gets into the film. Yeah.
Okay, so now I have to take this forward and say, then you ended up getting some of the finest actors that we have. So that's congratulations to you. I want to ask each of you, when this script came to you, what is it that made you say yes? Because let's be honest, we like this guy, but it's his first, time. So
A bunch of reasons. I was excited that this script relied heavily on performance.
yes,
I had watched a film called Carnage many years ago and I said, ये तो बड़े मजे हैं कि 4 actors in one room and then there's a lot of heavy lifting to do as a performer. So I was excited by that. Anshuman is very persuasive. Point number 2, he doesn't
Correct,
give you a
correct.
chance to say no.
no, correct.
And I was truly excited to work with Arjun. I've
That's
had
true.
a very glorious list of co-actors. Irfan, Nawaz, Pankaj, Shefali, the entire cast of Mirzapur. And I was missing a few names.
Wow.
And I think Arjun was one of them. One name I'm still missing, which is Manoj Bajpayee. I don't have that on my list yet. But yeah, so this was also satisfying that. Yeah.
This is absolutely lovely. You know, when you said that, it also reminded me of a Hitchcock film, which is called Rope. And that is one of my favorite films because, yeah.
It's
his
a
favorite.
homage to
Yeah,
the man.
yeah. And there's a box, and you know what's
It's
in
a
the
trunk.
box. There's a trunk, and what's in the trunk, and all of that.
Yeah.
Arjun, I'd like to believe that these are your reasons as well. So I'm going to ask you another question. Or do you want to add to that?
I do want to add a
Yeah.
little bit to it,
Please.
actually. Other than, you know, the first time I met Anshuman, it was in 2019, pre-pandemic. We ended up shooting the film in 2022. And it went through a journey, just, you know, and the first time I met him and I read the script, honestly, I was like, I could not slot this film in any, I couldn't put it in a box.
Yes.
I,
You couldn't put it in a trunk?
Yeah, I couldn't put it in a trunk, you know. So, and I just read this thing and I'm like, this is funny, but also weird, but also like little scary somewhere. And like so something about that got me.
Correct.
The fact that I
Correct.
didn't quite get it,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
that made me say yes first. Anshuman and I had an instant connect, I think. And, you know, down the pandemic, he also went through some stuff which made me steadfastly want to stand by his side. And of course, as she said, one of the first things he said to me when we first met was that Rasika will probably play this, and it had been a dream to work with her for a long,
How
long
lovely,
time.
yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But a smart producer, director knows how to do just that. Hook people with like
the others.
you get to work with this person,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
It's not just, I feel, other than being an absolutely absurd script, I needed actors who have the stomach to jump in this well, because it's an absurd script when you read it as an actor. And I'm an actor, so I was reading it as an actor, and I was like, gosh, there's so much to do.
Right.
Also, when we think of combos, especially in India, we only think of big stars coming together. But it's my dream and my wish that it's great to bring great actors together.
So true.
Because it gives audiences such a fulfilling experience, because they relate, they feel. So for me, it wasn't just a personal greedy choice of having Rasika and Arjun on board. I truly felt the audience will see a magic. It's like 5 instruments playing together during an orchestra.
So true.
You know, if you have 5 great actors, the Jugalbandi is magic. So that was the endeavor.
Yeah, and then as you rightly said that you can't really classify it as a genre. So that's why I'm going to ask you this, director साहब, कि इसको एक theatrical मिल रही है. What does that tell you about where we are right now with our movies? Because I find that very interesting. I'll be honest with you, because this would have been so easily post-pandemic in the 2023 phase, a film that would have gone straight to OTT.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. Not because the film is small, not because the film has a certain cast. It is because the market forces dictate where your film lands up. So I really want to know the journey of how this film made it theatrical. I'm very happy actually, but I'm also at the same time saying there's got to be a story here.
I am on this journey since 2017, since I started producing. I don't want younger filmmakers who come in, who make film with clarity, to struggle the way I have had to struggle.
So true.
So I want to create an ecosystem which breaks this clutter of this thought that, you know, high concept independent films cannot make it to theaters. All of them may not. I am also of that opinion, but some of them which have a targeted audience, which have a specific genre, which have a larger audience, just to put it simply, like certain genres people like, black comedies, thrillers, action. These are genres where there is a mass audience that may appeal to them. And A24 has been a huge influence on me. I was in New York. I was lucky enough to meet them when I went there. And I have learned one thing from them. Pre-Parasite, if you see their productions, I know Parasite got them into
the limelight.
Yeah, but there's been a journey pre-Parasite. They've been pecking away with really good audiovisual content. So the thought has been not to compromise on the experience that the audience will have when they go into theaters. Cinema is audiovisual. Actors, but also try to mount it and bring it to the screen. And that's been the endeavor with this one. Even with Lakad Baka, like a lot of people
So
said,
true.
it may not work because it's a non-star playing, but now Lakad Baka 2 is even bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I want to break these boxes or trunks that we've created, and that's the endeavor. We might succeed, we might fail. If we succeed, I'll move on to the next one. If we fail, we'll learn something from it. So
Yeah.
there is a very clear thought. We are not delusional. We know it's a challenge, and I'm very grateful to the cast for backing this all the way through. This journey would not have been possible without every person on this team working towards the film.
So true. I want to ask both of you, as excited as he's got his reasons why this is so important to him for it to reach a theater. I want to ask each of you because both of you have had so much love, so much success, but yet does a theatrical really mean a little more?
Maybe just a little, to be honest.
Okay,
Not more than that for me.
lovely.
For me, if a show or a film is coming out and reaching any audience, it's enough. It really is. To have a theatrical after a while, yes, is special because it's just a little different from what's been happening in the last 2 years with me.
Yes.
But though Fairy Folk did release theatrically also,
Yes.
but it was a tiny release in that sense. But yeah, so just the the sort of romance of watching it in a dark theater, the romantic notion of sort of watching it in a dark theater with a captive audience, that makes me feel a little special. But otherwise, it really doesn't. If it reaches an audience, I'm happy.
Thank you.
Yeah, same here. It didn't even strike me until I got asked the question a few days ago. Actually, it was very the same question.
Of course,
pretty
yeah.
much. And I guess there should be because it is the original, the medium that attracted.
The OG format.
Yeah,
Of course, of course.
it's what made you want to come and start doing this to start with. And but the world has evolved, and it's the same thing. The material needs to reach the audience. However, it doesn't matter that much to me. To be
Fair.
honest.
I'd like to. Sorry.
No, just to say, in fact, what this does is create a kind of box office pressure, which, to be very honest, like I'm okay to not have as any part of my
Life.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So but yeah, and I still don't.
Yeah.
That's for producers and directors to mostly. I mean, actors too, but yeah, not me. Yeah.
No, it's great because I know that both of you have actually all three of you have had so much love and from audiences who'd watch anything that you're in it, and that's why I feel like just by, just the size of the screen increasing, what changes? Because you never act for the theater, you never act for the OTT, you never act differently, right? But anyway, that was interesting. What I thought, do you want to actually?
Yeah, I wanted to just add one thing. When I was directing this film, I was making it for the big screen.
Really?
Yeah. So I have my sound designers are people who worked on Manjumal Boys, Jagga Jasoos. I have mixed this film in Kochi with Fazal Bakar, who's done other than Manjumal Boys a lot of Lijo's films. He's done some of the biggest Malayalam films that have worked in theaters. So the endeavor was to have an experience, and with all due respect and with all the lovely home systems that we have in terms of sound, there is a different experience to a movie inside a theater on Dolby or on Atmos.
Of course.
Especially a film like this, where a knock, which is why when I messaged you, you remember
He was so upset that I was watching it on the screener. He's like, don't watch it. And I said, but I have to. I have to talk to you about this.
Because trust me when I say this, and I can't insist on this enough, some films like Mother, I saw Mother on the big screen, and then I re-saw it, and I was like, this doesn't feel the same. And there is a good reason, because the sound design of that film is, the detailing is so precise that you only hear it in a theater. They've moved from right to left. On TV with the best, doesn't happen.
When someone says the word high concept film to me, I really laugh because I'm like, no, these are films. And there are low concept films.
It's like I have a parallel to that. Somebody the other day in the press con asked me about good actors and bad actors, and I always say there are no good actors and bad actors. There are actors and there are non-actors. much in the same way.
So true, so
Yeah.
true. So this, every time someone says it's a high concept film, I'm just like, no, the stuff that we watch
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
actually really low concept
Yeah.
and
Correct.
really high
Therefore,
budget.
in comparison,
And it's just unbelievable. So, which is why I want to ask each of you, how do you find yourself, okay, doing what you do day after day, knowing this? Like, it's
knowing
almost like a bitch, you know, like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know.
Oh, who's you? Somebody take it.
You know, it's like life. And me and my wife have a lot of discussions on this. It's like when you're in the minus to the world around, zero seems wow.
It's true. True.
So the thing is, I hear this so often. People come to me and he's like, "Oh, it's amazing. You wake up at 6 a.m. Oh, it's amazing. Your diet, your this." And we go back home, and my wife's from America, and she's always lived a very structured life. So she finds it very amusing that whatever you're doing is normal. There's nothing special about it. Why is it such a big deal to everyone? And then I have to tell her the problem is that the choices you make every day, and every second we're making a choice, right? If they are constantly coming from a place of passion and ignorance, you'll be making bad choices. Uh, and then, in comparison to that, any normal good choice will seem like a wow element. And the moment life is like that, it sinks into your cinema, your art, your culture, everywhere. So it begins from us. So I keep it very simple. I love movies. I love being on a film set. Ram Madhwani saw the other film, and I worked with him as an assistant
Yeah,
when we were doing
course.
Fire and the Rain at Ithaca. And for me, he said one thing to me. He said, "I see the same excitement," and I said, "Sir, that's what it is. I want to, He said,
Yeah, yeah.
"You say that's what it is for me. I love making movies, and I want to make movies that I would watch, even if it means pushing the envelope." And Debakar said something very nice to me back in 2010. He said, "It's our responsibility as filmmakers to get the audiences accustomed to newer narratives, newer storytelling patterns. It doesn't matter if it's a success, it's a failure. It's like a drop in the ocean. It affects the change, and that's
So
important."
true, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very curious. आप दोनों कैसे अपने आप
I
को
have totally
इस सब से दूर रखते हैं कि भाई बकवास चल रही है और हम इतने अच्छे एक्टर्स हैं और इतने पैसे मिल रहे हैं बाकियों को, लेकिन हमारे साथ क्या चल रहा है? How do you make your peace with this?
Okay, it's pretty simple for me, honestly. I believe, call me idealistic or whatever the hell. I believe in a better world, and I believe, and I have devoted my life and career to chipping away at the block. Is that simple? You know,
Amazing.
what else can one do? You know, because I don't know. It's yeah. Is that simple?
Thank you.
I mean, I am not being offered the bakwas. And I don't even mind being a part of it. I
Sure.
thought it would be, I really think it would be
Sure.
an interesting exercise.
Sure.
You know, I'm not
Yeah.
joking about this, really. And I think it would be fun to experience something which is not my world. But I haven't been offered that, and I am working with people who are great, man, all the time. Honestly. So I have nothing to complain about in that department. Within that, yeah, there are the better projects and the not better projects, but none of them would qualify as low concept, in my opinion.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
You know what's also very interesting about the film is the immigrant experience. And I remember, I know that you were born in the UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that, came into play at all.
No, I lived there like a couple of months before.
Oh, okay.
arriving back
Okay,
in
so
India.
there's no.
It was
Okay,
the
okay.
passport. It was just the passport.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I found that really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any extra out of India connections. I don't know. But you, of course, that has obviously stayed with you. It has already made you question. Why was that so important for you? Because I feel like why being the other, okay, on a bigger level,
Sure.
is what the film also really talks about. Like, it's acceptance, right?
Yes, in essence, like even if you see the LGBTQ film that I did for Disney Hotstar, Hum Bhi Akele, the whole idea of us and them, the moment you say they, you're differentiating in your head. This boxing is conditioned into us so deeply from a schooling level that I really feel art should be borderless. That's why somebody was asking me who saw the film, a journalist, that your take on immigrants is very different in this film, given the political situation right now. And I told him that I am not making a political statement. I am telling a story for entertainment. It's a fictional story, and there are all kinds of people everywhere. One thing to answer your question that stayed with me is the fact that my wife, when she is in India, she's referred to as an expat. And if I go to the US,
You're a migrant.
and
Of course.
that for me is a huge. I don't like that. There's a part of me that says, why differentiate? Why have those two boxes? Because the moment you're doing that on a language level, on a very semantic level, I'm saying, you're teaching people to, and it's so deep rooted, Rohini, that sometimes I struggle to even have a conversation on these topics with people, because what you don't understand, you fear. So they start from a defensive mechanism. So then how can you have someone talking to you when they're defensive in the first place? So I think art has that responsibility to, in a fun way, and that's what this film is doing, that there are immigrants are everywhere and different people react differently. But it was important for me and Vikas, the writer, who did a lot of research. Also Curzon, we know the history of Viceroy Curzon, and I have a very strong voice about how Bengal suffered under his rule. It's something that is very personal. It's something that affected me as a child. When I read about it, it stayed with me.
Yes.
Which is why when the title came, Lord Curzon Ki Haveli, we weren't trying to make a political statement. It's a fun film which has an element of these historical, these images, and I find it interesting, the way the geopolitical world is progressing right now in terms of immigrants, and the topic is something
You couldn't have had a better or worse time to release this film, honestly, because actually when you look at it, you're just like, it could go either way.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Somebody saw the film and said, "Oh, it's the film we need instead of Donkey." I said, "No, sir. We need that film also. We need this film also. We need all films." So don't. The problem is comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, Rohini. And if I may just add to that pap thing you said, I say, why not? I say, why not see Rasika Dugal just charm her shit out of a mainstream commercial film, dancing and singing away? Because I think when
100%.
she'll do it, she'll be so much superior than a lot of people out there. And I truly believe that. And I think this is my simple thing. I will not get into an Uber with a blind driver. Will you? Why are you forcing audiences to get into a cinema hall with non-actors? Simple question.
I'm not going to be great at dancing. I'm just putting it out there.
he's like, Rasika could do that.
I like how he's cast himself over in front of Rasika.
I think I can.
Yeah.
She can.
I think you can.
She
I think you can too.
Rasika has a little schoolgirl in her somewhere.
Yes.
You know, on set, I used to just keep observing her sometimes in between takes, and I was like, this is all craft which she releases when she
She's
needs.
amazing, yeah.
But you give her
Thanks, guys. I'm having a good day.
I mean,
Fuljadi.
no, even for me, like, it was just like, and she's doing it all in fun. She's having fun and she's in there, and suddenly you see, oh, is that you? Is that your character? What's going on right now?
Yeah,
You know, it's like,
Zoha would actually come. She came to me 3 days in between takes, and she said, we were rehearsing, and she actually said, did she just, are we in a rehearsal, or is she, it took her a little while. She was the last one to come on set. So, both of them are just incredible actors.
In fact, that's the reason why I'm gonna, take this to a close on my interview and say, this is one of the reasons why people should go watch this film. It's just the joy of watching 4 actors interacting. And honestly, just making something. Sorry, Tanma, you come and go. So, and Curzon, you come and go. But what happens when 4 people are in a room in a house, and I don't know, there's a box or a trunk, and one person asks, "Is there a dead body in it?" That's the start of this film. Where it goes, you'd never imagine. So that's why you should watch Lord Curzon Ki Haveli on the 10th of October. Thank you so much, guys, for chatting with me and for exciting all of my audience about Lord Curzon Ki Haveli. Once again, I'm going to say it's very special that it's in theatres. So don't forget to watch it on the 10th of October onwards in cinemas near you. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.